Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the DJ Preps High School Football Preview Show. I'm your host, Brad Locke of the Daily Journal, and the fit this week is appropriate. Ruston Bearcats, Louisiana State Champions 2023, the old alma mater. Okay, well, we'll spend the next few minutes breaking down three of the biggest games this week in the area for high school football. I'll make predictions as well. We'll have keys to the game, all that. Before we get into it, just a reminder about our sponsor, Pizza Doctor. Check them out at Midtown Point in Tupelo. Also, give us a follow on Twitter at DJournalPreps. I'm on there at Brad Locke. We have also a Friday night post-game video show we do with James Murphy and Brendan Farrell. You can find that on Instagram Live. Friday night, pretty late, but if you miss it, you can catch up later. So anyway, we do that, recapping some of the big stories and games from that night. But right here, right now, going to preview three big games this week. And, before we do that, I want to skip this part because I did not do well in my picks last week. 0-3. Yeesh. Yeah, I'll try to do better this time around. Okay, the first game, and this one's on Thursday. Shannon at Pontotoc. Shannon ranked number 7 in our large school rankings. Pontotoc is number 8. And the weather is not going to be good. That hurricane that's hitting Louisiana right now, going to dump a lot of rain on us Thursday. The game is still on as of right now. So Shannon at Pontotoc. Pontotoc 2-0. Shannon 1-1. Okay, so let's get into the three keys of the game. And I have a little title for each key, because why not? Key number 1, flex zone. Of course, Pontotoc running that new flex bone offense, and it's going quite well for the Warriors. They're averaging 248.5 yards per game on the ground with that old school offensive attack. 31.5 points per game. They beat Amory, they beat South Pontotoc to start the season, so that new offense is really rolling. Cortland Pass, the quarterback, leading the charge on that. So Shannon's got to find a way to stop it. Nobody's done it so far. That's key number 1. Key number 2, is there a journal jinx, a daily journal jinx? Because actually both games so far, Shannon's game-breaking wide receiver, DeGarius Clifton, has not put up many numbers, just 2 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. But Shannon's got to get him going now. If this weather is really bad, it's going to be tough to get the passing game going. But Clifton has to get on track. Of course, he was on the cover of our football preseason magazine, thus the jinx. Maybe it's our fault. And number 3, key number 3, again, always the most important. Storms are coming. Like I said, it's going to rain 2-3 inches in the area. Francine going to soak everybody. Who can deal with that the best will determine the winner. My prediction, been going back and forth on this one. I'm going to go with Pontotoc. Ooh, 14-12. How about that? James Murphy will be covering that one for us. Game number 2, Belmont at Myrtle. Both teams unbeaten. Belmont 1-0, Myrtle 2-0 for the first time ever for them. Keys to the game. Key number 1, got to stop those zany Hawks. Zane Hill is the quarterback. Get it? Doesn't throw it a lot, but when he does, he's effective. 14 of 20, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Pretty good. But otherwise, they will run the ball quite a bit. Key number 2, the Twin Killers. Belmont has these 2 kids, Alex and Andrew Marino. They're twin brothers, and they do a lot for the Cardinals, and will need to do a lot in this game against Myrtle for Belmont to have a chance in this one. And key number 3, again, the most important. Belmont's head coach, his name is Michael Jackson. Can he do the moonwalk? I don't know. We might be surprised. He might bust it out if they get a big lead. I hope he does. Okay, my prediction on this one, another tough pick. I'm going with Myrtle. They stay hot, 28-22 over Belmont. Finally, game 3, Itawamba AHS at Lafayette. Itawamba is 1-1, picked up their first win of the season last week. Lafayette is 0-2. They lost a lot of guys on defense, especially from last year, so been kind of a rough go to this point. Keys to the game, key number 1, Woodworker, J.A. Wood, the quarterback for Itawamba, off to a great start. 516 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. So he's going to try to pick apart that defense of Lafayette and could make for a long night for the Commodores if he can do that. Key number 2, a non-passing grade for Lafayette. They have not been able to pass the ball. Quarterback Nick Thompson has only completed about a third of his throws. They have found a bit of a running game, which was lacking last year, but they've got to get Nick and that passing offense going. Charvon Bell is pretty much the only guy he's been able to get the ball to, so they need some number 2 and number 3 receivers to step up and take the pressure off of Charvon there. And then finally, key number 3, I don't know if this game will be a real yawner, but Itawamba has a lineman named Dakota Yawn, as in, yeah, I don't know. He kind of sounds like a guy that would go mountain climbing in the Great Northwest, saving baby raccoons along the way. I don't know. I don't even know how much Dakota Yawn plays for Itawamba, but it's a great name, isn't it? I thought so. My prediction, Itawamba, I think, wins this one on the road, and I think they'll win comfortably. 35-14 is my prediction, Itawamba over at Lafayette. Okay, we wrap it up here with the Double Treble Award, the best 1-2 punch from last week. And it goes to, speaking of Itawamba, 2 of their linebackers, Bryson Walters and Eli Neighbors, last week in a 36-0 win over Caledonia. 38-0. They combined for 29 tackles and 6 tackles for loss. Great defensive performance by them and by the Indians in that game. That's it for this episode of the DJ Preps Football Preview Show, week number 3. Again, check out our sponsor, Pizza Doctor. Follow us on Twitter at DJournalSports. I'm on there at Brad Locke. Check out my podcast, Prep Rally. Just dropped a new episode today. You can find that in Spotify or iTunes, any of those podcast apps on your phone. So if you go to a game tomorrow on Thursday, and there's another one besides the Pontotoc Shannon game, well, I'd recommend staying home. Otherwise, bring your flotation devices.